Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a closer look, a mental journey really, to France.
France.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of it, what pops into your head? The Eiffel Tower, maybe, croissants, vineyards stretching out.
Definitely. It's got that instant recognition, doesn't it? Romance, culture, amazing food. It just has this charm.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it's always like super popular with tourists.
Hugely popular.
Yeah.
Which is why we thought, okay, let's really dig into what makes it tick. Why is it such an enduring destination?
Exactly. So our mission today is to sort of pull out the key info you'd need if you're thinking about a trip. You know, top spots, the culture, the landscapes, which are incredibly varied, and some practical stuff, too. And we're basing this exploration on the info you can find over at FlightNHotels.com, which, as we'll probably touch on, is also pretty handy for, well, booking the actual flights, hotels, cars, all that.
Right. It's a good starting point. You want to connect the dots, understand the why behind the appeal, not just the what. And FlightNHotels.com lays out a lot of that groundwork for us.
Okay, so let's get right into it then. Why does France pull in so many people year after year? It can't just be pretty pictures, can it? There must be something deeper.
That's a great question. And yeah, it goes way beyond just looking nice. I think fundamentally it's got this incredible cultural heritage.
Okay, like art and architecture.
Exactly. Art, architecture, literature, fashion. France has been central to European culture for, well, centuries. It's not just history locked away in museums either. It feels alive, you know? Part of the everyday experience.
And you mentioned the varied landscapes. That strikes me too. It's not all one thing.
Not at all. The diversity is amazing, really. You can go from the huge peaks of the Alps,
Snow-capped mountains.
right, to the sunny beaches on the Riviera pretty quickly, too. Then you have the vineyards, Bordeaux, Burgundy, and the lavender fields in Provence. There's something for pretty much everyone, whether you want adventure or just to relax.
And the food. We have to talk about the food. It's legendary, but not just the fancy stuff, right?
Oh, definitely not just the Michelin stars, though they're part of it. French food culture is deep. It's about good ingredients, tradition, the simple pleasure of eating well. You know, perfect baguette from a local boulangerie, regional dishes. Food is just central to life there.
Yeah, you can feel that. And what about the romance aspect? Paris, city of love.
Yeah.
That's a powerful image.
It really is. And Paris does have that romantic vibe, you know, the little cafes, the Seine. But honestly, that feeling isn't just limited to Paris. You find romantic spots all over quiet villages, Mediterranean sunsets. It's woven into lots of places.
That makes sense. And for history buffs, like me,
Yeah.
it feels like walking into the past.
It absolutely does. The layers of history are just everywhere. Roman ruins, incredible medieval castles, and then more recent history too, like the D-Day beaches in Normandy. It's tangible. You're not just reading about it, you're standing right there.
Okay, so the why is definitely strong. Let's talk where. FlightNHotels.com lists some key spots. Paris obviously comes first. Beyond the big hitters, what experiences capture that Paris feeling?
Well, you've got the icons, right? The Eiffel Tower, you have to see the view, and the Louvre, you know, Mona Lisa and all that. Essential first-timer stuff.
Sure.
But experiencing Paris, that's maybe strolling the Champs-Élysées or taking a boat trip on the Seine, seeing the city glide by, or just finding a cafe in Montmartre and watching the world. And a practical tip from FlightNHotels.com, book a central hotel early. Makes getting around so much easier.
Good tip. Okay, let's leave the city buzz and head south. Nice, and the French Riviera, what's the vibe?
Oh, very different. The Riviera, the Côte d'Azur, it's all about that Mediterranean coastline. Glamour, sunshine.
Yeah.
Think Nice, Cannes, Monaco.
Beaches, yachts.
Beaches, fancy yachts, casinos, the Cannes Film Festival buzz. It's got that sophisticated, relaxed, sunny feel. It's about enjoying the coast, the lifestyle.
So maybe less about ancient ruins, more about soaking up the atmosphere?
Generally, yeah. There's history there too, of course, but the main draw is that Mediterranean lifestyle. Enjoying the sun, the sea, maybe a bit of luxury. And like FlightNHotels.com mentions, renting a car is a good idea there. Compare options on the site, maybe do a little road trip along the coast, see some smaller places.
Sounds tempting. Okay, moving inland now. The Loire Valley. The Garden of France. Sounds peaceful.
It really is. The Loire is famous for its chateau castles, apparently over 300 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, incredible structures, each with its own history, plus beautiful vineyards, lovely little villages. It's got this very tranquil, elegant feel, a step back in time.
Any particular castles that are must-sees?
Well, Chateau de Chambord is stunning, really unique architecture, and Chateau de Chenonceau, the one that stretches right across the river, both are pretty spectacular.
Got it. Further south again, we hit Provence, famous for lavender fields, right? That must be amazing in summer.
Oh, the lavender fields in summer are something else. Just rows and rows of purple, and the smell, incredible.
I can almost imagine it.
But Provence is more than just lavender. You've got amazing Roman sites like the amphitheater in Arles and Avignon, where the popes used to be. It's a real mix of natural beauty, history, culture.
And FlightNHotels.com flags that for seasonal things like lavender, booking ahead is key.
Absolutely. Popular times get busy, so grabbing those early bird deals on hotels, whether it's a boutique place or something in the countryside, through FlightNHotels.com is definitely smart.
Okay, complete change of pace now. Chamonix and the French Alps. Sounds like one for the adventurers.
Exactly. This is playground for outdoor lovers. World-class skiing in winter, obviously. But summer is amazing too. Hiking, climbing, mountaineering.
Right under Mont Blanc.
Precisely. With Mont Blanc, the highest peak in Western Europe, looming over everything, the scenery is just epic. Truly breathtaking.
From the mountains down to Normandy and the D-Day beaches. A very different kind of beauty and so much history.
Immense historical weight there, especially for World War II history. Visiting the landing beaches is, well, it's very moving, very powerful.
I can imagine.
But Normandy also has Mont Saint-Michel, that incredible abbey on the tidal island, just stunning.
Yeah.
And great local food, too. Camembert cheese originates there. So it's history, but also culture and flavor.
A unique mix. And lastly, for the wine fans. Bordeaux and Burgundy.
Ah, yes. Essential stops for wine enthusiasts. These regions produce some of the world's most famous, most respected wines.
So vineyard tours and tasting.
Definitely. It's about tasting, sure, but also seeing the vineyards, understanding the whole terroir thing, how the place shapes the wine, learning the process. Booking those wine tours in advance is a really good idea. They can get popular.
That's an amazing tour of the country. Okay, let's switch gears slightly to practical stuff. Planning a trip. What are the key things to keep in mind? Visa, maybe?
Good point. First up, entry requirements. France is in the Schengen area, so depending where you're from, you might need a Schengen visa. Always best to check the official requirements for your passport well in advance.
Crucial first step. Currency.
That's the euro. Widely used, obviously. Cards are accepted pretty much everywhere in cities and towns, but having some cash, some euros, is always handy for smaller shops, markets, or more rural spots.
Right. And when's the best time to go? Weather, crowds.
Generally, the shoulder seasons are great. So spring, like April to June, and fall, September to November. Usually really pleasant weather. Fewer people than peak summer, which is July and August.
Unless you want to ski, then winter.
Exactly. Then winter's your season for the Alps.
How about getting around France?
France has a fantastic train system. Really efficient, connects most places. Public transport in cities is usually good too. But
yeah.
If you want to explore the countryside properly, like the Loire Valley or Provence, renting a car gives you way more freedom.
And that's something you can sort out on FlightNHotels.com too.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits they highlight. You can compare flights, find hotels from budget to luxury, and book car rentals all on the same platform.
Okay, so tell me more about the benefits of using a site like FlightNHotels.com for planning this.
Well, the main thing is convenience, isn't it? It brings everything together, comparing flights from different airlines to get the best deal or schedule, finding hotels that fit your budget, your style, booking that car for exploring.
All in one spot.
Exactly. Instead of juggling multiple websites or bookings, it's streamlined. You can plan and book flights, hotels, cars from anywhere, basically. It simplifies the logistics quite a bit, especially for a multi-stop trip.
Yeah, I can see how that would reduce the planning stress. And you mentioned they even suggest an itinerary for first-timers who might feel a bit lost.
They do. A kind of sample 10-day trip. It's a good starting point if you want a taste of different things.
What does it typically include?
Usually starts with a few days in Paris, hitting the highlights like the Eiffel Tower, Louvre, maybe a Seine cruise, then a day trip out to Versailles.
Classic.
Then maybe a couple of days exploring the Loire Valley castles, vineyards. After that, down to Provence for a bit, experience that region's charm. And often finishes with a couple of days on the Riviera, maybe in Nice.
That covers a lot of ground.
It does. And the idea is you can use FlightNHotels.com to actually book the pieces needed for an itinerary, like the internal travel, the different hotels, makes it manageable.
It really does sound like France offers this huge range, something for everyone. And planning it doesn't have to be overwhelming with tools like FlightNHotels.com.
Precisely. France is. It's an experience more than just a destination. The history, the beauty, the food, the culture, it all comes together to create something pretty special, memories that stick with you.
Yeah.
And having a tool like FlightNHotels.com helps make that experience of a lifetime feel more achievable. Smoother planning, maybe save some money, make it memorable for the right reasons.
Absolutely. So if listening to this has sparked that desire, that little travel bug for France,
Yeah.
well, the next step seems pretty clear.
Head over to FlightNHotels.com, start looking around, see what's possible for your own French adventure.
Definitely. And maybe, as you start dreaming about it, just think, with all these options, history, nature, food, art, what part of France is really calling your name? Picture yourself actually there.
Yeah, imagine stepping into that picture. That's where the real journey starts.